The name of our project, KAIROS, stands for Knowledge About and Approaches to Fair and Socially Sustainable Cities. And as the name indicates, our focus is on the social dimension of sustainability. And the first thing we did in the project was working with a definition of social sustainability. And we landed on the definition that you can see here behind me, where we say that social sustainability is something like a political balance point between the three basic values of security, development, and justice. And we also argue for that the meaning of these concepts have changed over time, and that security no longer deals only with conventional security, but also with the security of being able to predict and control one's own life. And when it comes to development, we think that development is just not about economic development, but also has to do with education, public health, and quality of life. And justice, of course, it has to do with distribution of wealth, but it's also about recognition and participation. You can say that it's about the feeling of being included in society, both on an individual and on a group level. But like I said before, the interpretation and the meaning of these concepts are changing over time, and they're also at a high level influenced by the local context. And that is why we say in KAIROS, we argue for more of participation, dialogue, and co-creation with those who live, reside, and work in the city. And that brings us to, what are the challenges for reaching this social sustainability? What are the main obstacles? And first I want to say that the public bodies that took the initiative to this project, they gave us one overarching research question, which was, why do things turn out the way they do, despite our good intentions? And we find four main obstacles to why this happens. One has to do with a lack of interest in visualizing conflicting goals, which has to do with the structure of power, the inadequate capability of handling complex challenges. And these two obstacles are, I would say, very much connected to the third obstacle, which is the mode of governance, new public managements, and that puts customer benefits before a broader public value. And the four main obstacles that we have seen is the mental structures that cause structural discrimination and preserve unequal power structures.
We mean that a profound transformation is needed to handle or overcome these obstacles. And we also mean that transformation is needed on different levels in society. But KAIROS will not present working methods, not a list, not a checklist, how to do this for a more sustainable development. We mean, as Birgitta said, that these working methods, these approaches, they need to be co-created locally with citizens and various stakeholders. KAIROS therefore instead have developed 7 changes of perspectives, mental shifts, synvända in Swedish, which we hope can help to point out directions in which those concerned can search for new ways of building a more fair and socially sustainable society. And the figure here illustrates how these 7 changes, or will illustrate how these 7 changes of perspectives aim to deal with identified obstacles and to strengthen each of the 3 fundamental values constituting the content of social sustainability. So the first change of perspective that we mean is needed is to go from negative to positive security, and it's about the need for a more inclusive and co-created city development that handles unequal power structures and conflicting goals, a city development that focuses not only on negative security, but also promotes social capital and trust, which is positive security. The second one is go from a purely market-oriented growth mindset to a more healthy development. It's about the connection between public health and societal development. The third change of perspective we point out is about the system of education. From a school for order of society to a school by and with children and youths. From learning about democracy to living democracy. And from social control to social interaction inside schools. Fourth one is from looking upon citizens as objects to seeing them as subjects. It's about the need to look upon civil society not as counterparts, but as co-creators in developing a sustainable society. And a connected change of perspective to that one is the fifth one, from invitation to dialogue to a more co-creative democracy, about the need for new local social contracts. And then we have two in the middle. Number 6 here is about the need for a new mode of governance, as Birgitta spoke about before, and a more co-creative leadership in the public sector. It's from focus only on customer benefit to focus on a broader public value. And the last one, from formal rights to real rights, about the need to focus on justice not only in possibilities, but also in outcome, about structural discrimination and the need of supporting structures for real change in outcome.